Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and this video will be our top 10 moves for Astaroth in SoulCalibur VI. Now, if you're not familiar with the top 10 move concept for a 3D fighting game, it's not so much that I'm trying to clickbait you with top 10 sick moves or something like that, although if you did click, hey, thank you very much. It's simply this, in 3D fighters, move lists are long. Like, if you are new to a character, or even if you put some time into a character, it's sometimes hard to notice what moves to focus on, because you got a ridiculous amount of moves in any given 3D fighter for even any given character, right? So, this top 10 move list, and this is not going to be in any particular order, just so you know, it's just, these are some of Astaroth's best moves. These are the moves you should be focusing on to kind of help your Astaroth gameplay, be it, you know, offensive potential, defensive potential, whatever have you. These are the top 10 moves that you should be focusing on Astaroth to improve your gameplay. Now, coming in for our first move, and once again, please remember these are not specifically ordered, these are just all top 10 very useful moves, is the old classic forward B. So forward B, what is forward B? One, it's a very reliable poke that hits from a very reliable range. It's a good keep out tool. Considering Astaroth's predilection for slow moves, I guess it's a respectable speed. You can also hold it, just so you know. And before we go into holding it, let's just talk about the big thing here. So if you manage to hit as a counterattack, which is going to be most of the time you're using this move for, when it hits as a counterattack, you see here we get a crumple. And what happens when we get a crumple with this move? Well, it's combo time. All this is guaranteed. Every bit of that was guaranteed on the crumple. So, a quick little check, low risk, no commitment, it's safe on block, and you get a potentially very, very large reward if it connects. So this makes it a fantastic check move, just checking enemies' distances, making sure, you know, if you are in an advantageous situation, you know, they're not hitting buttons. Now, the only thing I really got to mention here is if you hit it from exactly far distance, this part of the follow-up might not connect, as you can see here. You got to be a little closer, and you can do, this is up, or down, kick. And then up, or down, B, by the way, the moves I'm doing. So if you are doing it from a very far distance, you can always at very least get up, or down, B, and that will always connect regardless. So keep that in mind. If you do it from quite far away, this part of the move here just might barely miss. But yeah, all in all, great move, huge damage, low risk. It's just great. And also, now we'll go back to the charge version. If you are so inclined to use it as a charge version, it will come slightly advantage on block. And it does not have to be a counter hit anymore for you to get your combo follow-up. So yeah, fantastic tool all in all. So coming up next on our list is Astaroth's quarter circle back grab. So this guy right here. Now you might notice that was a little spark there. So there's two versions of the move here. And honestly, the flash version is always better, but don't feel bad if you didn't get it. So this version right here, he'll chuck you up and he'll do 35 damage. Now if you manage to get the sparking version, he'll chuck you up. And what's going to happen is you'll get 40 damage. So it's just a reward for fast timing. That's all it is. So don't feel bad if you don't get it. So why is this, of all the throws he has, because he has a million of them, why is this the best one? Well, first of all, it is quarter circle back, the motion. Meaning it is a back break. So back breaks in this game, they are just more difficult to break. In this game, any button and any direction is not a back, or just no direction at all and just any button will break a forward throw, right? Back break, you have to hit one of the back directions and one of the buttons. So you have to make a more conscious decision to break a back throw versus a regular throw. Heck, you know, like you can even accidentally break a regular throw, like without even meaning to, right? So back throws are generally much more viable in terms of not getting accidentally broken. The person has to actually commit to breaking the throw. Secondly, of his throws, this is the most damaging one. Here's the basic follow-up here. And yeah, that's just respectable damage. And once again, if you get the flash version, you'll just do ever so slightly more damage. That's a very respectable chunk of health. So yeah, it's just really good. Also, it's quite good at ringing people out here, either by itself, because you can just huck you, and you know, there you go, right? And also it has a pre-built-in follow-up. So say you don't want to do the combo, right? If you want to do up or down in your A attack, he'll just do this pre-canned follow-up and smack you around. So it's good for ring outs if you are so near the ring. Also, as you see here, it does wall splat, so you get a bit of extra damage that way. Yeah, so it's just very, very, very versatile. Another thing to mention here is in Soul Charge, this move gets much better. So I'll show you the basic version of the combo. So see with the cinematic, we'll go for our usual follow-up. And since it launched up high, we get this, the Titan Bomb follow-up. And yeah, as you see here, that does a substantial amount of damage. Depending on the character, you can actually get slightly better follow-ups. That's just kind of the basic one. So yeah, this move becomes wildly stronger in Soul Charge. Also, one final thing to mention, this is also the same for the quarter circle forward throw. If you so choose to hold the button, see that little red flash there? At that point, this throw becomes untechable. So no matter what they do, they cannot tech the throw. As you can see there. And also does a little more damage to boot. So, honestly, if you're checking this out, you want to hit as fast as possible. But if it's ever in the mind game or whatever, or say you're trying to get past like a guard impact or something, if you hold it, you'll get an unbreakable throw that does a smidge more damage. Our third move on this list is diagonal down, back, and B. And that's just the shovel. That's what I prefer to call this move anyways. So what is good about this move? Well, the big thing is it hits low. Astaroth struggles to produce lows on really any kind of level that are any kind of threat. Like he can toe tap you. That's like negative on hit, just so you know. I got this guy, which has some mild use, but the shovel is really, really good. So it is somewhat negative on hit, but this is one of the moves that you can hold. So if you choose to hold the button, not only, you know, as you can see here, delays it a bit. What it does give it is good tracking property. So if you are knocking the enemy down or whatever and they try to roll in any direction, this will actually track them very well. And also this move is very positive on hit. The held version, just so you know. It's quite handy. Like, obviously, we see like a lot of moves with lightning, then you know it's plus on hit, but there are moves in this game that are plus on hit without seeing that, and the held version of it is really good. So, it's not much else other than a low, but since Astaroth struggles to put out lows, it's pretty handy. And also, if done at the right time, it is also a high crush that high attacks will go over his head, so that's another handy little trait. Next up on the list is an old-time classic, and that's the Bull Rush here. So, forward kick. This move is also holdable, just so you know. And as you see there against the properties while held, but we'll talk about that in a second here. So why is this move good? So it crushes high attacks basically immediately. So it's a really good tool to steal turns, as in you do something, say you're a little bit negative, or you know, even a little bit plus, but you know the guy's not going to be dissuaded one way or the other, and he's going to hit buttons right away. And if he's hitting a button that's high, then you just immediately go underneath him and just kind of tag him. Now, one thing right there, this move is really good against the wall, as you can see right there. If held, you can also ring out with it, and on counter hit, it also knocks down. So let's talk about the held version for a split second here. The held version, at a good distance, will always lethal hit, as you can see there. So depending on the distance, you can only get certain combos. Like that's the least decent combo, and that's still 95% or 95 points of damage. So that's pretty good, right? It's very safe on block. You're pretty negative on block. You definitely lost your turn on block, but it is still safe on block. And it's just one of the few ways he has a sealed turn. So yeah, just very good forward distance traveled. It's just very eminently useful. Also, in Soul Charge, the regular version gets a follow-up. The move is armored as well. So it just becomes an all-around decent move. Well, it's an all-around decent move to begin with anyways, that's why it's on the list, to be sure. But it comes much stronger than just the base version, because it has a follow-up, it's armored, the follow-up will track. So if, say, you hit slightly askew on the first one, the second one will kind of course correct and hit you know, more towards the enemy. Just makes a good move even better. The next move up on our list is just simply BB forward. So this is BB normally, that's not the one you want. What you want to do is hit BB and then hit forward, and this will happen. So you see here, he kind of hits you with the pommel of the axe. So I know this isn't a very particularly, you know, sexy or cool move, so why is it on the list? Well, one, this is a natural combo. So counter hit, as you can see here, is not on any way, shape, or form. Astaroth has very few natural combos, to put it lightly. He's not able to produce natural combos too well. You can produce big combos, you know, that's all well and good. That's kind of why you're playing Astaroth, but to produce, you know, just a quick for him natural combo, not so much. So that's really good. Another reason why it's good, it is plus on block. So this move here is +2 on block. So against a lot of characters, doesn't even necessarily mean it's your turn, because they generally have moves faster than you, because, you know, that's just what happens when you play Astaroth. But you know, you don't necessarily have to give up and die and just hold block at that point, right? Or GI right away. If it's not blocked, +2, depending on the character, it can be a real boon. And finally, one of the biggest weaknesses of Astaroth is simply You play Astaroth, you're here to throw people. Like, that is why you're playing this character. Let's just make it cut and dry, right? You're here to throw people. And, you know, any kind of ducks, any kind of high crushing moves, all get around your throws. And then there's a lot of reasons why throws aren't very strong in this version of the game. But yeah, so with this in mind, this move obviously hits mid. So if they're trying to do a duck attack, if they're trying to do a high crushing move, what's going to happen here, since they're both mid hits, you're just going to smack them silly, right? So you can stop people from wanting to do non-stop high crush moves, non-stop duck moves. It's just a little incentive to, like, remember, hey, please stand up straight. Otherwise, you're going to get bopped if you're crouching, or, you know, otherwise trying to do moves that have a high crush built into them. Number 6 on our list is up back or down back while 8-way running B and K. So what he'll do here is just kind of a big old chop downwards, and he'll bull rush to the side. So why is this good? Well, hey, look at the range. The range of this is patently absurd. Like, you can get people from very, very, very far away with this move here. And also, another thing, depending on which one you start with, because it actually does matter, either up back or down back, the kick follow-up will actually very slightly track to one side or the other. He'll run in kind of a semicircle in that direction. Now, also, on top of this, one of the reasons why it's really good, on top of, you know, slight tracking and huge range, is this this is a natural combo. So this part here, all is one combo no matter what. And it is a very big reward on hit. Here, like, have a look at this here. That is all a true combo. It did a little more damage because they're set to Chemi to the side, as you can see here. But even if it was not in place, it'd still be a lot of damage. So yeah, like you see, it's still quite a bit of damage. So it's long range, huge reward, and it's safe on block. So it's pretty good all around. You can chunk a massive part of the enemy's health with this. And once again, the best kind of moves are big reward with low commitment. And this move is big reward with low commitment. Coming in at number 7 here is just Forward A. So once again, this move's not very sexy, it's not very cool, but you need your good building block moves, and that's exactly what this is. For Astaroth, it has a fair startup. It does track 8-way run, so that's pretty good. And on block, it's not much, and on hit, you know, it's respectable plus, but the big thing is on counter hit. So on counter hit, as you see here, it doesn't matter if it's an attack counter hit or an 8-way run counter hit, it's going to drag them kind of across, and it's going to leave them in a crouching state. And what do you get in that crouching state? Well, you get a free, guaranteed low throw attempt. So right here, we're going to go for a back low grab. So yeah, it connects, all well and good. And once again here, let's try the forward low grab here. So what the enemy has to do, they can absolutely tech the throw, yes, but they have to guess, is this going to be a back or a forward? And once again, as you can see here, these throws look identical. So they can't tell. They just got a 50-50 guess in this situation and go for it. It's just a nice little chunk of damage from an incredibly, once again, low commitment, low risk move, and potentially big reward if it connects here. Because that throw attempt is guaranteed, and it's just up to them, for them to guess, is this a back throw or is this a forward throw? If they guess wrong, then hey, they just got dunked. Now, another basic building block move here is just back and B. So I know it doesn't look like much, but it's a fairly important tool, as what this is your single fastest mid-hitting attack. So once again, we talked earlier in the video about how people are somewhat inclined to do crouching moves or high crushing moves due to Astaroth's, you know, kind of predilection on grabs. Well, this is just a quick reminder, like, hey, stand up, stand up, stand up. And this is your fastest move that he has to do it. Now, it's not his fastest move. His fastest moves are back A and stand kick. But when it comes to being able to hit crouchers, this is the single fastest move he has, coming in at 16 frames. It's safe on block, although it's on the edge here. You definitely lose your turn if it gets blocked. Plus 6 on hit, and also this move is modular. So if you hold the move here, it becomes a break attack. So on block, you'll become plus 6 on block, and if it just hits, and you see there, the tracking is not amazing. In idle stance, Maxi kind of just sidestepped it just by, you know, sidestep or doing his little idle dance here, right? So you definitely want to use it in the situation where you believe the enemy is going to stand still. Yeah, so on hit here, at the very least, always get a free restand or, you know, just a little kick here. Like, you're not going to get your big combos by any stretch. But yeah, so it's a plus on block, and on hit, the full charge version, you get a little follow-up, so that's pretty nice. Also, this is one of the moves that gets better in Soul Charge. So this is the held version here, and we get a follow-up. And if we do it normally, we also get a follow-up. This is back BB. And the follow-up, if you hold it, it comes a fairly quick unblockable, as you can see there. So once again, just good in Soul Charge, just a modular move between regular and break versions. Just handy all around. Once again, this is your single fastest move that's able to hit crouchers. The next move on our list here is back, kick, and A. So as you see here, the move has quite a bit of range, at least in the follow-up version. And why is this good? So for one, hits mid. Now, the previous move we talked about here, back B, does not hit as fast, but still it hits. And the big thing here is this. So one, it creates a lot of pushback. So as you see here, there's 2 hits, and that's because we had run counter on. So if we have no counter move on here, they are able to block the second hit. So keep that in mind. So it has to be a counter in some way, shape, or form for it to become a natural combo. Although, the reason you're using this is because it's a mid. So the idea is you're trying to catch them doing like a high crush style move. So more often than not, it is going to counter. And if it doesn't, then hey, it's -1 and it pushes you back an incredible distance. Like this is basically the distance you want to be anyways for Astaroth. So the pushback alone, hey, that's fine. Like it doesn't, it's better if it does hit, sure. But if it doesn't, it's certainly not the end of the world as you gain some very valuable spacing. Now, with all this in mind here, this move, it's a very solid ring out move. So we'll just turn our counter hit back on just so you can see. Very easy to ring out with by any stretch. It's the easiest thing in the world and knocks them back quite far. Also, very good wall splat move. That's probably not even optimal, just to give you an idea, right? So it's very easy to hit them off the wall. So yeah, ring out, stops people from ducking or low profiling your moves. Good pushback on block. It's just such a great tool all in all. Astaroth, not necessarily known for his martial arts style kicks, but in this case, it's definitely a really good one. And in our final move in our top 10 list, that's going to be Up, B, and K together. And that's this guy. So you might be asking, what's this absurd high-flying move doing here? Is Astaroth Rey Mysterio? Well, yes, obviously. And this obviously would look like this is a very, offensive style move, considering, the giant leap and all that kind of stuff. But this is actually one of his best defensive tools, and I know you're wondering why is this a good defensive tool. Well, it's all right there. The fact that he leaps. This game, is very much based on the concept of like, 8-way run, dodging, stepping stuff, ducking under stuff, like all that kind of stuff. And you don't got to worry about side steps. You don't got to worry about ducks and all that kind of stuff to get past moves when you're just airborne. And that's kind of the real secret of this move. For move itself, obviously, if it hits, then, it's a nice little knockdown. The move is 0 on block, and meaning it is Astaroth, so 0 on block for Astaroth might as well be a negative on block, because everyone's move is going to be faster, but still, at least it's not negative. And also, you can hold the move here. If you hold BK, he will just slightly charge up a little bit, and it'll become a break attack, and this break attack is a massive plus 14 on block. So that is very, very good. You also have some small modular amount of air control. So if you hold up back and hit B and K, he'll kind of do it in place. Hit forward, he'll jump forward a little bit, and if you hit up and forward, he'll go forward just a little bit more. So this is a very fantastic move to do. Say you just got soul charged, right? So you got pushed back, and now say you're fighting Nightmare or something, he can definitely hit you from that range. So is he going to go for, a sweeping move that'll track your step? Or is he going to go for, the drill, 4B or something, something very linear or just whatever? And at that point, you can say, I don't care. I'm just in the air. None of these options are going to hit me. And, yeah. So it's just really interesting. It's the best defensive tool in a way is just to not be on the ground. And Astaroth, with his mighty vertical leap, can definitely provide that for you. So don't think of it as an offensive move. Think about it as a move that you potentially are in a situation where you might have to guess. And no, if someone hits you with like a button up close, you're not going to be able to pull this off, just so you know. It's going to be too slow. But in a situation, especially once again post-soul charge, where you just might have to guess, this is a situation where you can say, no, I don't want to guess at all. In fact, I'm going to steal my turn back by just being in the air, not being on the ground to get hit by, whatever horizontal or vertical move. So that's it for this video. So these are, in my opinion, Astaroth's basically 10 best moves. Once again here, you know, in 3D fighters, there's just so many options. There's so many moves, right? Like everyone has a giant move list. So to break it down into these 10 specific moves, I think these are the main moves you should be focusing on. Now, does this mean he has no other good moves beside this? Well, of course not, right? Like, you know, back, A held for the break attack, Poseidon Rush, like these are all still very good moves. But these 10 moves in particular, I find are just kind of a little bit above the rest in terms of overall usefulness and kind of what you should be focusing your game plan on. But anyways, that's it for me. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Soul Calibur.